Hey, everybody. Welcome to the Energy News Beat Daily Stand-Up. My name's Stu Turley, President and CEO of the Sandstone Group. Today's an interesting day going on around the world, and today is April 6th. Just a crazy day for political as well as energy things going on around the world. Got some interesting stories for you here. India's power output grows at a fastest pace in 33 years, but it's fueled by coal. Lots of interesting stats on that article. Next story coming around the corner is Biden wants coal country to rise like a phoenix. It's kind of cool. We'll talk about that in a sec. Then we have emerging markets grapple with rising solar panel costs. There's a lot in this article, and it's really about the supply chain and other issues coming along with that. Next article along the same lines with that is New York City is behind in meeting its solar energy goals. Can it catch up? There's another twist in this article that relates to the whether or not the markets can happen with the rising solar panel costs. And this article, why Minnesota's push to electrify government vehicles is going slower than expected. All three of those have several key components that are on a macro actually look across the U.S., what the U.S. is facing on that. So before I get started on the stories here, make sure that you like, subscribe, leave us some great reviews, tell your friends, put a note on your refrigerator to listening to it. Our show is just going bonkers, and we really do appreciate you listening to the daily stand-up as well as our interviews with our CEOs and other industry thought leaders. First article coming around the corner is India's power output grows at the fastest pace in 33 years, fueled by coal. Intense summer heat waves and a colder than usual winter in northern India, and top that with an economic recovery led to the jump in electricity demand. Not only just a demand in additional people, but forcing India to crank up output from coal plants and solar farms as it scrambled to avoid power cuts. Can you kind of get a message of the theme of today's show? And that would be solar and renewable. Power generation rose from 11.5% to rose 11.5% to 1,591 billion kilowatt hours or units in the fiscal year ending March 2023. That's crazy. That's a lot of power. And India, the output actually raised the fastest in 33 years. 1990, coal was 13.6% of India's production, and now it is 11.5, even with all of the renewable gas and other. That's just mind-boggling to me. 11.5% of their total energy power usage is from coal. Here's why they're having to do that. India FY23 power shortages the highest since FY17. So 2017, they've had more power outages in this year than they had in previous years. And that, looking at the chart, which is on energynewsbeat.com, it's an amazing story. They're having to really balance out their power for their population. Hats off to the Indian leaders for trying to do the best that they can while trying to just get power to everybody there. We have to get the lowest cost kilowatt per hour to all people of the planet. And that also means using coal. So, next article coming around the corner is Biden wants coal country to rise like a phoenix. I think that's a great idea. But on this, why is Biden focusing on coal country? One of the big reasons on that is union. Coal country's got a lot of union members out there. And I think that it's a great thing to try to work the union jobs, but are the union jobs just nuts and bolts, and can they work over to the other jobs that are available? The article says right here, both environment advocates and clean energy investors say numerous challenges remain. Tom Corman's executive director of the environmental group Appalachian Voices called a revitalization a Herculean effort that would require the federal government to commit ongoing collaboration with communities. And that's very critical for this statement coming up right below. It is a hard thing to do, said Martin, whose company operates renewable energy projects. You have to find hundreds of people that are willing to do the work that is available. So it's not just saying, oh, here's shovel ready jobs. You have to match the abilities and the want to in order to even do those jobs. So are you going to take a truck driver that was driving in a coal mine and then hand him a screwdriver and say, oh, by the way, start assembling these solar panels? So there's going to be a matchup there with skill sets. And that is what they're talking about, matching skill sets and dollars. That's going to be a tough job to do. I like the way they're thinking, but boy, that's a tough job, and we'll keep an eye on that. Next one coming around the corner is emerging markets grapple with rising solar panel costs. We've known for a long time that the supply chain has been broken. China is accounted for 80% of all manufacturing stages in solar panels. That's just unheard of. So China controls how the pricing goes. You've been hearing for a long time that the renewable energy of solar and wind, the kilowatt per hour, has been coming down. That has not been actually true when you consider the increasing in prices for the commodities and the designs going in. We ran a story 2 weeks ago that just because you have the money from the infrastructure bill doesn't mean that you're going to be able to implement any of this because of the supply chain problems. Well, when you have a shortage of something, the price is going to go up. And when you have China controlling 80% of it, the price is going to go up. So the article says supply and demand dynamics. This goes through a wonderful description of why there is a very huge problem coming around the corner, and prices for solar are going to be going up. This article really articulates that really well. Next article coming around the corner is New York City is behind in meeting its solar energy goals. Can it catch up? New York City has pledged to reach 1,000 megawatts of solar energy by 2030, enough to power 250,000 homes, according to the mayor's office. Now, that's during the daylight hours, unless it's got moon. I'm just kidding. So when you sit down and take a look and get a crayon, that is a lot. You're also going to need the storage in order to run that, or you're going to need a consistent power supply like nuclear or storage. So nuclear, natural gas, and in New York has banned New York natural gas. So they are importing their natural gas right now from LNG from the European market because they won't connect it to the Pennsylvania Marcellus. Unbelievable on that. They could really put in their solar panels, connect it to natural gas pipeline system. The infrastructure is already there, but they just need to run one pipeline and they could make that happen. The quote here is, we're ramping up and everybody in the city, at least our competitors and contemporaries, are very busy as well, said Hatch last month on a rooftop on a 24 apartment building in Clinton Hill, surrounded by dozens of newly installed solar panels. The panels will produce around 4,250 kilowatt hours of energy per month and save the building 600 to 650 on monthly energy bills once complete. This won over 4,500 projects underway to turn solar arrays into energy across the 5 boroughs. I'm not sure if 4 to 600 on a building of a 24 unit apartment building. I ran the numbers and that did not seem like it really made a dent on the individual users, but I'm going to try to verify that for you. That's a lot of money to spend for the savings on that. If you divide it by the 24 units, not sure that it will really help out. Let's come around the corner to Minnesota. Why Minnesota's push to electrify government vehicles is going slower than expected. You know, it is really a great goal by the government of Minnesota to try to electrify their vehicles. I have to hand it to them. And when you just say Minnesota Department of Administration sets a target in 2020 to make 20% of its vehicle fleet electric by 2027. That is almost impossible when you consider the state also has snow plows. They have all these kind of trucks, and they were only going after the small trucks, cars, and hybrids. This is some really good thinking on their part. In 2021, the state's light duty category was dominated by flex fuel vehicles capable of running on high ethanol blends, accounting for 55%. Hybrids followed at 22% and regular internal combustions at 15%. The rest were electric plug-in, hybrid, and diesel run models. I got to hand it to the city. Not often do we hear the plans of hybrids. I love hybrids. I love the plug-in hybrid, especially because you are able to run fossil fuels, get the benefit of high gasoline mileage, but yet you're not using all of the battery technology and critical minerals that you need. So my hat's off to them for trying, but I also have to hand it to them that they're admitting that it is going to be tough. So when we sit back and take a look, the quotes, our plow trucks have to be run 24 hours a day. So there's a lot of technology to crack before they can even use those in the batteries. I have to hand it to them. And again, hats off to Minnesota. And they are going to continue to go down that road. And getting the charging stations for a city or a municipality or a state facility is a lot easier than the consumer, because the states can then put the charging facilities in the parking lots or at the offices of those buildings. But it's not the same for housing, for apartment complexes or those others. So that's why I personally like the hybrids and the ability to do that. So with that, folks, I'll let you get back to work. Have an absolutely fantastic day. And thank you for listening to the Energy Newsbeat Daily Stand-Up. My name's Stu Turley. Like, subscribe, and visit at energynewsbeat.com. If you're an industry thought leader and you want to be on my CEO interviews and my industry thought leadership podcast series, jump out and let me know at any time. Thanks. Look forward to talking to you soon.